I never thought I'd be homeless. It felt like it was us against the world. Coming to San Francisco, we had all these high hopes. We were like, yeah, we're gonna have this great place, it's gonna be beautiful. We were so excited, you know. We had all these hopes, and then we came out here and we were just like, damn, it's really hard. Housing has been pretty difficult to come by. I first moved out here and I found a place with a friend who lived off campus, but then she got evicted, so we both had to leave or pay like $1,000 just to stay another night. So we're just kind of like walking in the street. One of our friends offered to let us keep our stuff at her house while we like moved around back and forth to school, and we were able to spend some nights with her, but not all the time. Sometimes we wouldn't have anywhere to go, so we would just kind of wander around school, wait until our friend would be like, hey, you can come over. It was really difficult.
Ever since I graduated high school at the age of 18, I was actually homeless. What's kind of led to me to this point was stress. I think the amount of stress of working and going to school at the same time was taking its toll on me. So by this year, I started living in the homeless shelter. The weight I was carrying was just too much for me. So even the semester before, I was having some trouble. I take medication, and I was living in a living room, which was stressful, like working the logistics out for me and coming home late and from work and trying to manage my health on top of my school and academics and music.
In 2001, I experienced homelessness for the first time as a pregnant young woman. I also struggled with drug addiction and all the other issues that come along with it, incarceration and all of that. It put me in a spot where I had to access the shelter system, and off and on I was in transitional living, and then I would go from here to there, living on the streets, staying in like a flea bag hotel to like being out all night. It happened from like 2000 to, I want to say 2007, like off and on. Yeah, I used to go to this gas station and eat, and like there's a lot of like just fast food and just things that I used to come to eat and just hang out outside at night mainly. And then down the street on Shotwell, I used to go and take the back alleys, and my friend had a tent behind, and I used to go and stay there sometimes. Yeah.
We mostly just like slept in the library. I saw a lot of people like sleeping in the library, so I didn't think it was like a weird thing, and it was just kind of like, okay, like I'm tired, I'm just gonna go take a nap in the library. Also in the break room at work, my roommate and I were both homeless, but we didn't have like the same schedule, so it's just kind of be like, hey, like where are you? And then after work we kind of be like, hey, like where are we gonna go? So it was a lot of like empty time when we weren't like freaking out about school and like getting our work done. I think upstairs, like by the third floor, they have just like rows and rows, and so we would just kind of like sit there and sleep. After midnight, this is closed, so we kind of just like stick to here, like Research Commons, just backpack down. I remember sitting on this spot, just kind of people watching. So yeah, just walking around campus, anything to keep us busy. Yeah.
Using public bathrooms sometimes, going to the library a lot of the times. I mean, back then they didn't have the Lava May bus, so I didn't have that resource. There's only very limited places in the city where you can take a shower, and the lines are very long. So just being able to like go to the thrift store, go to St. Anthony's to get clothes, things like that.
Right now I live in a place called Larkin Youth Services. It's a homeless shelter for kids ages 18 to 24, and it's located in the Tenderloin neighborhood of San Francisco, right on the border of Van Ness and Ellis. My family and I all lived together in a house in Palo Alto, so I was always granted with the privilege of having, a room to come home to after school. I wasn't experiencing a ton of stress from at a young age like that, where you don't have a place to go to, like a home base. But it was more recent towards the start of college when we all decided in my family to move out of the house was when I started experiencing that experience.
It was not only scary, really heavy. We had too much clothes, we were unprepared. We packed too much of the wrong stuff. So yeah, it was definitely stressful having to lug all our stuff around from place to place, and our valuables we had to always keep on us, so it was a little stressful, like laptops and stuff like that. I think actually the whole time we felt unsafe. We did not have a moment where we're just like, we're just kind of always alert. We both worked downtown pretty late, so then we'd just kind of be like shuffling around with nowhere to go, kind of just aimlessly wandering.
I think not only finding, but keeping a job. It's hard. I work here and I see people that do have jobs and they'll come in the morning early, 4, 5 o'clock to sign up for a bed, and then they'll come back at 7 o'clock to pick up their reservation. And I wasn't working when I was homeless. I can't even imagine working full time and not being able to like lay your head down or rest and put up your feet. It must be hard. It's draining. It's like taxing on yourself, on your mind, your body. You have to be very limited in what you carry around. If you have a chance to have a locker here, that'll help too. But then there's also certain hours that you can't have access to it. But I see people day after day have jobs.
It's definitely gotten me to think, if I have that extra time to spend with friends, take care of my health, I don't have to spend money on being in hospitals the rest of my life. I could spend money on practicing guitar and maybe promoting myself, maybe devote that money into like investing in my profession.
We went to the psychiatrist. It was a time when we were just like really stressed out with school and everything, and my friend, she gets depressed, so we both went to the psychiatrist person and we talked to them, and they had told us about like homeless shelters, but we didn't really feel that we would belong in a homeless shelter. It wouldn't have been a good fit for us, so we didn't use those resources. My freshman year was kind of just like going through all that, and I was just kind of like, is this what college is like? But towards the end of that, I found some friends, and that's what really helped.
I was hospitalized towards the end of the year, and then the doctors through Kaiser were able to find housing for me through the insurance. They were helpful in locating me to Larkin. It's really tough to get in. Like, you gotta call every morning. You don't pay rent there, but you gotta like do the footwork to get a bed there, and then maintain that same amount of work to continue to live there. So it was through my medical provider, thankfully, that I have the place. Otherwise, it would have been me like digging through phone books or like the internet, going to the library every day, trying to find like somewhere to live.
There was a vicious cycle that I just couldn't get out of. I wanted to get out, but I just didn't know how. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know like what first step to take, and that was super hard for me. I knew that I wanted something better for me and my family, so I was able to work with the really good case manager, and I applied for all the housing options, which are very limited, but they had this community housing partnership that was available to 44 of the families that were in the shelter, and I was able to get in one of those, and I'm still there now. And because of that, I'm able to pursue my education, because I'm not worried about all the rent that I'm paying, especially now in San Francisco. It's crazy, ridiculous amounts of rent. Being in a supportive environment where I'm only paying 30% of my income just makes it so much easier. I am able to go to school and then work towards my goal of being self-sufficient.
People think of a college student, they think of them in a dorm or somewhere at a party getting drunk or something like that. They don't think about the other side, finding a place. They just expect us to have a place, and we don't. Especially if we live off campus. There's not a lot of help out there for us, and then the housing is really competitive.